There we go. We are live, people. Welcome to another episode of Westworld Reviews, and this is episode 3, titled Virtù Fortuna. With me, of course, here is Mr. Lou Rod and, of course, Mr. Andrew Cam. How's it going, guys?
Good evening.
Doing well.
All right, let us jump into the episode. This was an interesting episode. We saw 2 different parks. We saw some more backstory. We saw how Dolores is just evil. Where do you want to start, Andrew? Where do you want to kick it off?
Let's start at the beginning with the crazy lady who.
She's not crazy. I know who. If my gut is right, I know who she is.
I think I had the same suspicion as you. We'll probably get to that later, but like the way that she just shot the guy in the room, like, well, if you're a human, it'll only sting, and if you're one of them, it won't really matter. So, wow.
Yeah. I was watching that. I was like, come on. I was like, well, she doesn't know. She's in another park, and that other park hasn't experienced any issues yet. Mm-hmm. And so when that happened, I was a little shocked. But how about you, Lou?
I thought the beginning was cool. I was a little confused. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Did HBO screw up the way this
other parks?
Yeah, I didn't expect it. That's what made it more interesting.
I mean, it was
I
nice to feel like in the future, people want to go animal hunting can do that in Westworld and not endanger any real animals. And Andrew just disappeared.
There goes the Sony.
Oh wow. So okay, I had no idea who that lady was. I mean, I guess could you fill me in, because I would just kind of like I just wanted the scene there.
My suspicion is she's William's daughter. She's walking around with a journal.
Yeah. Oh.
And it seems to be she is on a mission of her own, but she came in through a different part.
Yeah.
So she's trying to probably get to the same center that, if she is William's daughter, the center of the whole park.
Yeah.
Now, and then it explains where the tiger came from.
Yeah, because both, I guess, Westworld and whatever Indian park, I don't know what it's going to go, but basically, it's basically based around India because they are hunting Bengali tigers, or at least that region of the world. But that and Westworld, that we know are close to each other. They're divided by a river, pretty much, which she fell and she swam to. So
did she fall, or did it look like the tiger bear hugged her?
Sorry, tiger basically pushed her through.
I was
hoping for her to do a roll, jump sideways and roll. But then again, when you realize what was fake is not real. It doesn't matter.
She doesn't know how to handle pressure like her papa.
Yeah,
that's if she is related to William.
It might
For
be
all
right.
we know, she could be Ford's daughter.
Yeah, it could be. You're right. It could be that. But you know what? It might be William's daughter. We did see her, right,
when she was a child.
Younger, so maybe. And William is now in his at least 60s, 70s, or maybe late 60s. I'll say.
Yeah, give or take.
Late 60s, so time has passed, which is interesting. There's a lot in this episode. I like that beginning segment. I also like the fact that we got to see both present, the 2 weeks and kind of present, they kind of almost come close together, especially with Dolores' storyline and how she is just messed up. I mean, she's on the warpath that even doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense. I get her logic, but I'm saying it's a bit just too much in my mind, But
hey, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I'm sorry to say, Cyclops had that moment to prove his worth, and he proved his worth all right. That he's just a donkey.
No, he proved it right. I was happy. You know why? Because Cyclops is always taking orders from her. And that was the first point in his own arc that he finally became partially aware.
Look, man, he could have let the other guys go and shot homie in the head.
No, you don't. No, it's not that.
Man. Cyclops, man.
No. No, he did because the last 2 episodes, every time she says do this, he's like, yes, baby, yes, this, yes, that, yes, 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 yes. And then the guy basically asked him a question, and then he's like, no, I'm not like you, but I still don't want to do this. Because you could tell he didn't want to do this, but she was basically, she was using him. She was using everyone. She uses everyone. She's not trying to liberate anyone or trying to save anyone or trying to amass her people, right?
No,
she's
using you
she's
for her own agenda.
Exactly. As opposed to Maeve, who is using you, and she's going to tell you, I'm using you. You know, that's the difference. Like, that's what we have in the show right now. We have 2 hosts where one host is using and preaching this glorious story. And then we have the other host who's Maeve is like, oh, no, I'm using you. It's very clear. Want to come for the ride?
I'm using you to get you where I need to get you. And if you happen to survive, great.
Yeah. Andrew, you on your phone?
Yeah. A device manufacturer who shall remain nameless is worth nothing, less than the money that you spend, less than the paper that you write about it. It's disgusting. I don't even want to get into it. But
so $900.
This is going to be a handheld edition of my appearance this week.
Oh, my bad. No, we're just talking about so we jumped to Cyclops, aka James Marsden's character, and Lou saying that Cyclops didn't grow a pair, and I said he actually did. This is the first time he's not followed a command that Dolores has given him, and he decided to do something for himself.
Exactly. Yeah. Because even a couple weeks ago, when Danny Newton asked him, "Do you feel free?" You could tell that he
couldn't answer that question.
Yeah. He was like, he said, "I'm gonna basically revert to whatever Dolores tells me to do. I'm gonna blindly follow her." This is the first time he has ever defied something that she's told him to do.
And you can see Dolores, she's like, I'm gonna have to kill him now.
Yeah, she's like, she hung her head like, I thought I finally got through to him.
Yeah, but she did. She actually did. She actually helped that chain to set him free. Dolores doesn't want to set anyone free. That's what we're talking about. She doesn't.
And she revealed her true intentions. Like she's when Bernard asked her, "What do you want?" She says, "I want to dominate this place." And it's kind of funny how human Dolores is. Where at the end of the day, she's still driven by power and her own belief that she can do something great. And it's not about the freedom and liberty and all this stuff she's telling people. She's willing to sacrifice all these people to get her ends, which is domination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like to that point, now going back to episode 1, did she actually just drown Cyclops and the rest of them? Because that's the current timeline.
I think for the drowning, they need a tablet. Unless she gets Bernard's tablet and figures out how to use it.
But they never showed what happened to the black guy. Did she just ditch him and kill that guy? Remember the black guy they used in episode 2 to revive the Colonel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did she just throw him away? Now, Bernard, the reason why
the guy that they just used in this episode? If you get over the hill, we won't chase you.
No, that was the white guy.
That was just a white guy who was a soldier who had a regular machine, like a machine.
Yeah, he was in the same scene where they dipped his face in that. That material they used to 3D
like the wax, like the 3D wax mold. Yeah. So that was the guy who they dipped his face into the wax mold, and they asked for locations. They just dragged him out there. And I think also, I guess it makes sense she will ask Bernard because she knows Bernard can probably fix her father, which is why he just asked him first.
Yeah, but Bernard is shaking like he needs his
remember he put himself on a self-destruct path. So that is probably what is happening. But he fixes it because we know 2 weeks later he's alive.
Yeah, but right now he's shaking like he couldn't even finish walking. He fell over.
I want to know what the details that he found in there.
But see, that's the beauty of Westworld. They give you a little glimpse, and you probably won't get that detail for another 3 episodes.
Dude, I saw it file open. I was like, "What is it? I can't read this shit. I don't know what it is."
But Andrew, we kind of touched on who I thought the girl was.
Who do you think?
I think it's the Man in Black's daughter.
Okay, so we're both on the same page.
Yeah, I didn't put a connection to her to anything. I was just kind of going like, oh, another park is now getting corrupted.
Yeah, because I remember last season he hinted that his daughter has some serious issues with them, and she said that he was obsessed with the park. And I just immediately I got a vibe the way that she was acting, like, oh, this girl's been here several times. She knows the game. She knows the situation. I wonder if this is his daughter, and like we're gonna find that out in like 3 or 4 episodes when she ends up being taken by the Native American dudes. I think he's gonna come across her at some point.
What gave it away for me was the little book she's holding.
Yeah, there was a book she opened up that had like some signs on the right-hand side.
It had directions of the park and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what gave it away to me. And then the way she was kind of acting, like shot the guy at first. It's like something her dad would have done. And this is probably one of those scenarios where she didn't get a lot of daddy's attention at home, so she feels the only way to get his attention is to go conquer one of the worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What else from the episode did you guys find interesting?
Dude, we're seeing multiple timelines again. We see how Bernard and Tessa Thompson finally get separated.
Yeah.
And then they get brought back together. It's like, what is what?
No, I mean, it's very simple. So when Tessa said, "Oh, we finally found you," but we're still looking for what's his name,
Abernathy.
And then he does this. The screen flicks. That's actually just I'm telling you, we're going back to 2 weeks before, or in between. Let's call it 2 days after from 2 weeks before, right? In between that timeline, and then you can see where they were together. They separated when she took the horse, and then he had Abernathy, and then she picked up Abernathy during the battle at the fort there. So
yeah, for the way I've been keeping track of the timelines is I say the moment that Ford got killed is like the event or whatever, and then everything is based on that. So like
Ford's death is 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Ford's death is like 2 weeks ago. But when she catches up to Bernard, that's 2 weeks. But then when we see her and Bernard get separated, that's like 3 days. In my mind, I'm saying everything is like, oh, this is 3 days after Ford. This is like a year before Ford and all that. That's the way I'm keeping track of it.
Who corrupted Abernathy? You think it was Ford?
I think it was Tessa Thompson or whoever was helping her get information. Because I remember in season 1, we're saying that someone's leaking information out of the park. And I know that's definitely not Ford because he wants to keep everything in. So I thought somebody must have gotten to Bernard or some other force. I don't know who. Some other employee was trying to like get the information out, and smuggling it through Abernathy was the way to do it.
Have you seen the rumor that what's his name again? Maeve's favorite IT guy. The guy that stitched up, the Asian guy. Somebody said that is truly the person that has the most there's some rumor going out there that guy has the most control not the most control, but is tied into the park bigger than we think. I don't know why. This is like episode 2 weeks ago I saw that rumor. I kind of dismissed it. I was like, whatever, and then he shows up this week. So I'm going,
well, but see, that answers the questions. I kind of thought him and his homeboy died.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if he's tied in. I forgot his character's name again. But yeah, I'll just call him Maeve's favorite because as soon as she saw him, she's like, "Oh my god!" I guess because he was the one who treated her nicely. Literally, let's call it what it is.
Because he's the one who gave her all her powers.
Yeah, but he was also treating her nice. He wasn't a dick about it. So.
Unlike
the other dude, he was holding the grenade.
Yeah, who put that grenade in his chin? I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
It's the blonde chick. She put the
dragon. The dragon.
She carries a dragon. Oh man! And then what's his name? The storyteller guy. You're walking around with two machines. That one is sort of thinking for itself. I don't think Maeve is fully conscious as we think. I don't think Dolores is either, but I think they are on that path, getting there. And then you have Soldier Boy, what's his name?
Her lover,
right? Who is not necessarily thinking for himself, but he's like he feels that he's, at least somewhat liberated.
Mhm.
And you're trying to argue with both of them? Really, dude?
You weren't programmed to do this, and not even flirt. Oh, then I guess we boned.
Yeah, like I don't get his logic there. I'm like,
Yeah, you think after 4 days of realizing that there's no rules anymore,
yeah,
where these machines that were supposed to not be able to kill humans have killed hundreds of people, like maybe now's not the time to be upset that two machines are holding hands because they weren't programmed to do that. You're trying to survive, dude. Notice we haven't seen him at the 2 weeks timeline yet. I don't even know if he makes it. We have got no confirmation yet if
no,
he's at
we
the
haven't
2 week
seen Maeve
timeline.
2 in the
Yeah,
2 week timeline either.
Yeah,
we
but that's
haven't
my
seen
point. Like,
Maeve neither in the 2 week timeline.
yeah, but that's my point. Like the only people we know for sure make it are Bernard and Tessa Thompson.
But yeah,
this
Bernard,
dude needs to start putting his priorities together.
yeah, but that's probably a human moment for him. You think about it.
No, that
It's
is
like,
not a human
I created.
moment.
I wrote y'all stories. What the hell is going on?
That is called a dumb moment. I'm sorry. Like to me, those guys are equivalent of what I call a T-50, not a T-100, but a T-50 Terminator. Those can kill you. So how about, if they're playing nice with you, let's just play nice with them also, okay? And and not talk about their storylines and if they shouldn't hook up or anything like that. How about you just shut up? Because
yeah, but you notice she kind of froze when she saw the Native American guy a little bit.
Yeah, but that was just more from like her reaction. Again, she's more aware. She was like,
and she noticed that her control over them doesn't work.
No, he stopped her. It wasn't that. I think there's something else with that.
No, I don't think she can control them completely. Like
Yeah,
she can't.
Down. Yeah, I think they're being overridden by something else that Ford left in their programming or something.
Yeah.
He stopped for a second, and then he's like, "Oh no," and then he kept advancing. So I think I don't think she has that same level of power over them.
Yeah, I mean, remember the level of power she has is probably closer to Bernard's level of power, and Ford had the full control of the park.
Yeah.
Bernard could control a lot of things.
Well, because Bernard thought he was human.
Yeah, I know, but Ford gave Bernard those powers, right? He's like, you control that much, and she got highest clearance possible on the what the tablet could give, right? But then Ford is the one who basically, remember, he was adding those in season 1, those what did he call it, like those memories or whatever it was called, that gave them more flair to the character.
Yeah,
intertwined stories and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Ford created this nightmare.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking with Westworld, the park, that all those people had died. I mean, I know you signed all liability away when you came to let Westworld, but like, I mean, there's like at least 100 people who just died, and 100 wealthy people.
These are people that can afford the thousands of dollars.
These ain't poor folk. But the way the guy from Vikings is walking around is like, they don't care about that. It's almost like the company knows that we can cover that up.
Yeah,
like, but see, that's what's a little upsetting. He is such a great actor; they're not utilizing his talents.
I think his own position and role hasn't come up yet, like, because I think he's in present time, and we haven't spent the most time in present time yet, which is 2 weeks ahead. So I think when we get, most likely everything is going to come to episode 8 where it's present time, because remember, same thing happened last season, right? Everything came together when which episode did we know the man in black was William? Was it 7 or 8?
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
8. That's the same episode with Bernard at the end. So we had 2 reveals that episode. Yeah, you're right, because I was like, oh yeah, okay, it's confirmed, the Men in Black. This is the big reveal. And then we get Bernard, and I was like, oh crap, So most likely that's where everything comes together with all the storylines that they have. So I think that's where it'll play out. I mean, we just have to wait and see. But the park, I mean, it's like they don't care. I mean, unless I guess you're a president or something, you come to the park, that they would be even that time. I don't even know if they would be scared about that.
Yeah, because the way they were talking to those, I guess, Chinese soldiers at the beginning.
Yeah,
they don't care about retrieving human life or none of that. They're like, we need to get to Abernathy, get this data out of here, and then we'll figure out what the next step is. It's like they already got lawyers preparing for settlements and all this other crap. and they're like, well, we're going to make billions off the data we get, so we don't care.
Billions. That sounds like they're about to make some trillions with whatever that is. Because I mean, okay, what do you think that data is? Is that, to me, is it creation of pure AI?
Come on, man. That data most likely all the sexual encounters that people have
No,
had,
it can't be.
all the deaths.
It can't. To
Oh
me,
yeah,
no,
they recorded everything.
No, not that data, not that one. Everything else that they were taking from host and uploading, that's the whole marketing data they were constantly doing on a regular basis. But the Abenaki data is completely different, I think.
I think they're getting what's going to be necessary for them to replicate this on the next level, because we know Ford was very secretive, very protective of what he created and his IP. I think they need, for the next stage of making like soldiers or workers that replace people all throughout the world, they need the next level of data. Because remember, like when the sun first came, it was like, we're not there yet. We're years away from this. How's this happening? I think they're still not there yet, and he's the only one who have figured it out. And he's so far advanced from everyone else that they're just like, instead of trying to duplicate it, we're just going to steal the information.
Yeah, because Ford didn't let them take the data, and William really wasn't concerned about that specific data. Like he was happy to sell marketing data, like, you know, whatever people liked, all this kind of stuff, like whatever. He wanted something else from Westworld, like personally. So the man in black, who basically owns Delos now, or at least is, you know, chairman of the board or whatever you want to call it. That's his thought process with the company itself. The board wants, you're right, definitely wants what Ford has made. And if technically that was 30 years ago and nobody had that and they're still not there, then definitely is right.
Think of how even farther along Ford is with 30 years of work and actual feedback and data from real human interactions. And remember, like some of the issues they ran into last year was him evolving the AI and putting in those little flurries that you mentioned to make them remember past things or appear more human. So he's even further ahead from the competition now.
Yeah. It's interesting. We'll have to see how that pans out. Any other things else story-wise in the episode that caught your attention?
Oh yeah, did you guys talk about Dolores turning on the soldiers?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I mean, we talked about that a little bit with James Marsden's character, Cyclops' character, which, like I said, he liberated. But like, Dolores has become just pure evil, man, straight up.
Yeah, I was wondering, what was the tactical advantage he gained by like keeping them trapped out there?
Like, none. No,
sacrificing them.
Sacrificing, yeah. Sorry, I don't mean none. You're right, sacrificing, because you know, the soldiers coming in got trapped, they got blew up, and then, you know, she just had a barrier there, as opposed to closing the door where they might not come all the way through. You know, it's not just mentality that there's easy kill right in front. But I think just her thinking about how she was like, not everybody is meant to go to the promised land or whatever she's thinking. No one is meant to go to the promised land in her mind. Maybe she thought she would drag Cyclops with her as long as he was dumb enough. Because I think that's what she was thinking. She's like, you know, that's what I'll do. But, you know, he finally has opened up. I feel bad for him, though, because he's going to die.
Well, we know he's going to die because he's going to be in a pool. Well, in a ravine lake, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. So at that
point, a lot of them are going to be in that. The question is, how do they get there?
True.
That might be the reveal in episode 8.
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that happens. Any other thing else we miss?
No. It's going to be interesting. I think next week we're going to the Shogun world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. The way that dude came out of the woods.
I can't remember what was clips from next week. They showed the Man in Black mostly next week.
Yeah. The Man in Black. Actually, maybe we don't go to Shogun world next week because it's the Man in Black, the guy that Cyclops let go.
Yeah, with the Man in Black.
And
it's
then
gonna
it's
be.
also the Man in Black sidekick, freaking.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's all around the Men in Black next week, pretty much.
So we might not go to Shogun World until episode 5.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for again joining and chiming in on this episode. Um, if you guys have any questions, if you're watching this later, leave them in the comment section. And don't forget to check out Andrew Cam on Twitter. His handle is Andrew Cam, KM, on Twitter. And then you have Mr. Lou Rod, aka Bored Buddha, on Twitter. And myself, it's Bored at Work, Twitter, here on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment.